Hey, what's up guys, it's Jonathan, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Amkov AMK500S wireless Wi-Fi waterproof sports camera. Now that's a lot in a nutshell, but to sum it up, it's pretty much an affordable and budget-friendly GoPro. Now if you guys want to get a detailed specification list, just go ahead and pause this clip. Otherwise, it's a 20 megapixel camera on the front, and the camera itself is available in 4 different colors, and of course you can change the resolution of your images and video quality, and I'll show you that later on in the video. Now, I've never owned a GoPro, but I am familiar with the price range of the GoPro Hero 3 all the way up to the Hero 4 Black Edition, and I'm also familiar with the included accessories. Now, that's what really separates this camera from the GoPro. You see, for 73 bucks, you get a lot of accessories included with this camera, and you can pick it up on the GearBest website, which you can find that link in the description of this video. Now, you do get your general accessories such as your instruction manual, a wall wart, which is not a US wall wart, so you will need an adapter, and then of course you get your battery, which is a 1150 milliamp hour battery capable of powering this thing for 3 continuous hours. Now this is where things get really awesome because you get a ton of different mounting accessories. You get different brackets, you get multifunctional brackets, you get clips, you get buckles, you get 3M adhesive that can attach pretty much to anywhere. You get 2 of those, then you get a helmet strap. You get a lot for your money right here. So like I said, here's a quick look at one of the 3M adhesive pads, and you can see the connector itself is where the buckle will slide into, and you can mount that pretty much on any surface you can think of. And then you get a little case here. If you want to use the camera without the waterproof case, you can just mount the camera in that and then use it, and it'll be a little bit better when it comes to audio, and you can still attach it to any one of these brackets that you are finding in these clips right here. I mean, they even include some zip ties, which I found extremely useful, and I'll show you what I used them for later on in this video. And then you get your micro USB to standard USB charging cable, so this will plug into the wall wart that I showed you in the beginning. However, I just used my cell phone wall wart since I didn't have an adapter handy. And then of course you get your camera and the waterproof case itself. There is a piece of protective plastic on the lens portion of the waterproof case. We'll go ahead and remove it so that way there's no distortion when we start using this thing, and then we'll do a quick tour around the case. That way I can show you the buttons. So all this is being done while the case is surrounding the camera, so that's why the buttons are like in a chrome accent, but they're very tactile still, just a little bit too spongy for my liking. But starting on the right hand side, you're going to find your Wi-Fi button, which will turn on the Wi-Fi capability of the camera, giving you remote access from your smartphone. On the front of the camera, if you hold it down, it acts as an on and off button, but if you just tap it once, it will take you through the different modes, such as stills mode, 1080p at 30 frames per second, 720p at 60 frames per second, or 720p at 30 frames per second. The back of the case is see-through, exposing the battery compartment on the camera, and then on the top, starting on the right hand side, you're going to find your shutter button, which will actually begin recording, end recording, or snap a still, and then you're going to find a latch. Now what I've learned to do is squeeze in the back of the camera case and then undo the latch. Otherwise it can be a bit of a hassle, and you might actually skin your finger on it because it is a very tight fit, which it needs to be to maintain that waterproof seal. Now once that latch is undone, the back of the camera case should just fall off, and then you can just pop out the camera out of the case, and we'll go ahead and do a quick tour so that way I can show you the build quality of the actual camera. Even though you couldn't see it while the case was on the camera, each button is actually labeled by the purpose each button serves. In this case, you can see this is the shutter button. Now the top, sides, bottom, and back are actually done in a high quality plastic material, while the front is done in an aluminum finish. Now here you can see 2 LED lights, and those are going to come in handy whenever you begin recording, since you can't really tell if the camera is recording right off the bat because it does not count in seconds, it only counts in minutes, so you're going to have to go by whichever lights that you see turned on. In this case, there are 4 LED lights all around the camera, and when those lights are all turned on, that means you are recording. Now on the left hand side, you're going to find your HDMI port, your micro USB port, and then your micro SD card slot, which is expandable up to 32 gigabytes. They don't include a micro SD card with the purchase of this camera, so you'll need to make sure you have one handy if you decide to purchase one of these for yourself. And here's a quick look at the battery slot on the back. On the bottom of the camera, you're going to find 8 dots, and that's where the microphone is at of the camera, so that's where all your audio will be picked up if you decide to use this without the waterproof case. If you had the waterproof case on it, the audio is terrible. So in order to use the remote access feature of the camera with your smartphone, you'll need to go into the iOS App Store or the Android Play Store and download the app that you see here. Once downloaded, go ahead and turn on the Wi-Fi capability of the camera by tapping the Wi-Fi icon. A little green light will come on, and then you're ready to go ahead and set this thing up. So go into your Wi-Fi settings on your iOS or Android device and then tap on the Wi-Fi network that you see pictured here. The password is 123456789 then 0, then click connect and you should be connected to the Wi-Fi access on the camera itself. So inside the camera app you have two different modes. You have stills mode and then you have video mode. Of course with video mode you can begin recording using your smartphone as a remote, and then you have digital zoom so you can zoom in or you can zoom out. If you have an SD card already installed into your camera, you should be able to view videos and pictures straight from your camera on your smartphone and then download them to your smartphone. However, I found an error in this entire concept. I just wasn't able to view my content, period. Inside the settings portion of the video recording side, you have options for your white balance, frequency, your date stamp. You can format the camera or you can just reset the entire setup. You can also change the length of your movie clips to off, 1 minute, 5 minute, or 10 minutes. And all that can be done from the main screen of the app. You don't have to go into the settings portion. You can also change the resolution of your video from Full HD 1080p 30 frames per second, 720p and 30 frames per second, or 720p and 60 frames per second. Switching over to the still side, you have access for your photo resolution. You can go all the way up to 20 megapixels or all the way down to VGA. You have control over your self timer. You can set it for 2 seconds or all the way up to 10 seconds, or you can just leave it off altogether. You have control over your exposure value. You can set it up for positive 0.3, positive 0.7, or positive 1.0, or leave it at 0. Going into settings, you can see you have a ton of options, including continuous shooting, white balance, frequency, your date stamp, metering, your ISO, your color effects, scenes. There's just a ton of different settings found in the stills portion of this app. The main benefit to using the app as a viewfinder is so that way you can see exactly what you're taking a video of or a picture of in real time, and I have to say it updates pretty good. I mean, there are the occasional hiccup and stutters that you get with streaming anything over Wi-Fi or connectivity through Wi-Fi, but for the most part it was extremely quick and I noticed minimal hiccups. So we're going to go ahead and head into some sample footage. This is 720p blown up to 1080p, and you can see the stabilization of the camera is terrible. It was actually attached to my dog using his harness and then some zip ties. So we'll go ahead and sit back and let you guys view some sample footage, starting with the footage that you see right here. So everything that you're about to see from here on is done in 1080p and 30 frames per second, and then the images that you see at the end of this video are done in 20 megapixels, so that way you can see the full resolution and the full capability of this camera. So this will be the last time you hear my beautiful voice on this entire video, so I'll go ahead and bring back in the music and let you guys enjoy these sample shots. If you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe, drop me a thumbs up, leave me a comment in the section below, let me know what you thought, follow me on all my social media connections. A big shout out to GearBest for sending this out, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.
And I realized the poor little guy was still alive again after Chewie had his way with him. And then he started he finally fluttered off and got like halfway up in the air, and then a big bird came and chased it, and